That's so stupid. I'm so dumb. Yeah. Oh. I'll post that in mine too. I just have to see there's a I'm a body in the view count.
Hello! Hi everyone! Hello, hello! Thank you, Tamasama VT, for the follow. I really, really appreciate it. How are you doing today? I'm here with my good friend Clover. Clover VT. Hi!
Yeah.
I hope the audio levels are okay. I hope the music isn't too loud. think it's cute your channel points are Tamagotchis. Ah! I'm glad you like them. Ah. Okay, so everyone can hear everyone. Okay, so let's put the chat. Where's the chat? Let me find that. Whoop.
It's behind that big old head.
Your noggin too big.
Yeah.
Too big a noggin. Knock it down.
I look like a little bear-shaped balloon.
If you don't behave, I'll shrink you out.
Oh no! No!
No shrinkage. No shrinkage today. Okay, I cover the chat a little bit, but I think all things considered, that's okay. Clo is so cute. Hi, wife. Tama-sama.
Hi, Tama. Hi. We will have a Roblox wedding soon.
Roblox wedding when? Can I be the maid of honor? Can I be the flower girl?
Oh my god, please.
Yes. I'd love to. She's getting crushed again.
No, not the hydraulic press. We're not talking about the hydraulic press today.
You're gonna go in that lolly torture chamber gift. The thing in the 2000s. I don't know if you know that one, but yeah, you're getting that treatment.
Let's tell them what we're here for today.
Yeah, and let me choose a nicer background track. Let's see. I chose something for this occasion that was nice and calming. Yeah. I think this is way nicer. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hosting a podcast, as some of you already know, and it's the Host in the Shell podcast with me and my guest of honor, Clover, today, who's, you know, always welcome.
Yes.
And it's a mental health. Thank you for the head pet, Tama. Thank you. And it's a mental health related podcast. And it's meant to highlight the struggles that, you know, creatives go through. Everyone, be it cosplayer, Vtuber, singer, you know, performer, sex worker, like everything pretty much. Everyone who's creative in some way, shape, or form goes through things, and I wanted to make an honest effort to connect people with each other and kind of talk about these things and talk about coping and, you know, setting boundaries and taking, you know, charge of your own mental health. That's the kind of point of this podcast. Love your cyberpunky design. Oh, thank you, Tama. It's really, really sweet. I'm glad you like it. So,
I love it.
Calico, hi! Thank you for being a shell chiller. Thank you for the follow. It's super nice. All right. So I think we got a couple questions under the Twitter post itself. I'll try to like naturally weave them in as like the conversation continues. But first, Clovey, I'd like you to maybe introduce yourself. So who are you?
Oh, okay. Yo, I'm Clo. I'm a Y2K based Dolly Bear VTuber who is ready to play on all your nostalgia and funny little memories and thoughts and dreams through my streams, whether I do it through games or art.
Thank you for the Hydrate Redeem Ringtail. So welcome. I think that's something we share in common because both of us are big Y2K heads.
Literally, it's just like, you know, Y2K helped us walk so the rest could run.
Yeah, you know, the Zoomers don't even know it. The younger generations, they forget. They forget where they came from. the hydraulic press. No.
No. We're not getting hydraulic pressed here. This is the safe Digishell area. There's no hydraulic presses in here, so you can't threaten me with that.
You're saying that, but it's really tempting to press shift and squeeze you down again.
Please don't do it.
I might do it if you misbehave. That's all. I don't allow that. Okay. If it's not allowed, then I won't do it. We're safe here. Yes. This is indeed a safe space. You're right. So the first question I wanted to ask you is how does your creative process look like? Like you said that you do art, right? So what does that mean for you? How do you express your art?
If I'm drawing, my creative process starts with the concept first, the idea. Because I know some people are very talented where they can just start drawing. I need an idea of what I'm doing before I do it. So a lot of times I make mood boards.
Okay.
Like sort of get like vibes, colors, the feel, the general personality of a character, or the feel of what I'm trying to portray. So like I said, typically mood boards, writing down ideas, and then I try to figure out like the concept. Like it's like, am I making a female presenting character, a male presenting character, a creature, a mascot? And then I said, do I want to go cute? Do I want to go cool? Do I want to go like what do I want the viewer to feel? What I want them to think when they see this character?
So where do you get your ideas from then? Like you say you do mood boards, but what's your inspiration?
A lot of my inspirations is from things I see in people I talk to. Like definitely like either like shows or anime books that I read. Sometimes it just happens like I just happen to visit a really cool place. I'm like, wow, I want to make something that reminds me of this. Like, how can I make an example?
I was about to ask, like, what's the last place that made you feel that way? It sounds pretty interesting.
So there is this really cool restaurant called The Vortex. It is a burger place.
Burger!
Yeah, but they have this really cool theme.
I think your mic
sorry,
just...
I had to... Sorry.
It's all good.
I was being heckled. I had to let them know that I'm streaming.
All good.
Sorry, where was I? Okay, so the general feel of that restaurant is actually a really cool punky rockabilly sort of theme. It has skulls and everything everywhere.
Ooh.
And they're very adult themed. Like it's actually a burger place that is 21 plus. No one under 21 can go in there.
Oh, I've never seen that before.
It made me want to make a cool like biker character, which I actually sold as an adoptable a couple months back. But I made like a cool skull demon looking guy who like looked like he's like a motorcycler, and he had like flames on his horn.
That sounds mega cool. I like that. Tama just said, really love the piece you made for Iron Mouse. Her design fits your style so well.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, I look over at chat sometimes. But yeah, like especially with my Iron Mouse post that I did that I plan to do in the future for my fan art Fridays streams. I wanted to give her an even more colorful, like, kind of look to her. Like, I know that Iron Mouse likes to have that sort of punky pink theme. Especially her new model where she has the guitar.
Yeah.
I don't do fan art very much, which is why I'm trying to kind of motivate myself to do that.
So you're more into drawing your original characters then?
I am. I'm more of an original artist. I don't do fan art unless I'm either paid to do it or if the mood just super strikes me. I'm like, you know what? This is happening. I want to draw this character, or I want to draw my friend.
I bet you're also the kind of person that, you know, sees that it's like someone's birthday and you're like, gifting time.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, I should draw this for them for their birthday.
I'm personally like that.
Yeah, like, cause I unfortunately look stupid and have very little money, so I want, like, I figure I could make something.
Oh, that's always like a good way to kind of solve that. Like, I personally do it as well. I design my own like birthday cards and I include like small doodles. And I always try to draw like the favorite thing of the person. So like sometimes I draw league characters or like, you know, pop culture characters, movie characters. And I am like, you know, I'm sufficient at drawing. I'm not the worst, I'm not the best. But I just really like the like handcrafted feel it gives. Like, I personally think art is one of the nicest gifts you can give to someone.
It's very personal too, because it's like a one-of-a-kind thing.
Yeah, I agree. So you told us what your creative process looks like, but what's like your favorite part of it in the whole stage?
Oh, my favorite part is that, like, so when it comes to art, my favorite part of that is the sketch phase, because that's the idea phasing. It doesn't have to look perfect at first. Like, it can, like, because you see where the piece is going. Like, you like, you're giving it birth, like that's its probably infant stage before you move on to the, like, you know, the middle phase, which is like lining it before coloring it and adding details and blah blah blah. But I just like I like the beginning part. I like getting started. A lot of people think that getting started is the hardest part, because, like, you know, that's when you're slowest, that's when you're trying to figure it out. But with my creative process, I told you, that does like a lot of the heavy lifting for me, because then it just gives me an idea. I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm trying to go for.
Like, when you have the mood board, right? You have your I think you have like your general through line. I think the mood line, the mood board is like the kind of phase where you're just focusing on getting the vibe down, right? And then with the sketch, you can let all your ideas run wild.
Yes.
And then line art, you know, line art and rendering it out, that's like the technical thing. And then, you know, posting the art online as well. That's, you know, a bit more on the technical administratory side. But I think, like, personally for me, sketching is the part where I feel the freest.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I can do bold strokes. Nothing really matters. I can draw them a million arms till I find the ones that I like. And like, especially when I draw digitally, I know that, you know, erasing doesn't matter. There's like no indent on the paper.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's, now, you know, that works well. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask, do you mostly do traditional or digital?
I mostly do traditional. Actually, I used to do oil painting, and I did pencil drawing.
See, I did a lot of pencil drawings too, but oh gosh, I hated painting. It's so messy.
It takes a long time too. That's what I personally dislike about it. All right, Tama-sama says, my model papa gave me a new model for my birthday one year, and I cried because you can feel the love when someone puts a lot of effort into something and surprises you with it. Oh, that's so sweet.
That is really sweet. That's so cute. Oh, that's so good of your papa.
That's really, really sweet. I like that a lot. That's super nice. I used to do oil pastel, but I moved to digital only after a while. For me, digital was scary because it means learning a software. It means learning shortcuts. and layers and, you know,
Yeah.
learning the technical stuff. And I'm always a bit like, you know, finicky about that.
Yeah, that's how I felt with some of the other programs. I'm like, oh, well, this is the one that everyone's using, so I have to use it. But honestly, um, I learned like just stick with the ones you're good at. Like, and if you can find out ways and techniques to do to for the same outcome, more power to you. That's how it happened because I used to actually hate doing digital art until I got an iPad Pro and drew on Procreate. That is how I do all of my art, by the way. I do it on the iPad.
I think with art, pretty much, there is never a bad skill. Like, if you do traditional art, it will still help you with digital art, even if the process is different, because the fundamentals always stay the same. So, like, you know, your values, your draftsmanship.
Yes. It's like, for the longest time when I did used to draw digitally on the computer, I would draw traditionally first, then scan it, and then put it on the program, and then draw over it. But that's such an arduous task to do every time I wanted to do a drawing. So that was the whole reason I got an iPad, because I could just draw directly on the screen. I didn't have that disconnect with the tablet and the computer monitor.
Yeah, I think like lots of people do that. There's also like light tables and stuff like that, right? Ah, too strong for a social life. Thank you for the follow. I needed a second there. Your username's so long. But thank you for being a shell chiller. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoy your stay. Alright, so let's see. Bound says, I moved from pencil to MS Paint. Well, you can do lots of stuff in MS Paint. Like, you're joking.
Like, especially with some of the newer, I don't know if you have the older version of MS Paint or the newer ones, but like there's still a good amount of options on it. That was my introduction to digital art.
Sorry, I had to smite the person that followed me just now.
Oh no, you had to smite them. What happened?
They asked me to be their wife because they were a prince from a different country and wanted to give me $10. So I'm pretty sure that was just a troll.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No trolling, we're talking here.
This is a mental health space, and I decide who goes in and out of that space. That's an advice I think Clover can appreciate. I think that goes for all content creators.
Yeah.
You need to monitor your own places, I think. That's my advice.
Yeah, for real.
Tamasama says...
Oh,
sorry.
That's okay.
I did that too, Chloe. I hated doing it in MS Paint forever ago, because I'd have to draw over everything, then use the negative effect to pull out the clean lines since layers didn't exist. They offered you Lamborghini. I take that deal. Yeah, you know, they say it's Lamborghini. That might be just a cheaper, you know, bootleg.
Yeah, and all they wanted to do is give you $10. How expensive was that Lamborghini? Was it a Hot Wheels?
Yeah, it might have been a Hot Wheels, even though, you know, there's some pretty rare Hot Wheels out there.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, but let's pay it no mind. It's not that important. Alright, so... your favorite part is the sketching phase then, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the hardest part then?
Oh, goodness. Coloring. Especially if it's off the cuff, you're not given a color palette. You have to make one. That is the longest part that I think, the longest and hardest part of a drawing process. I know some people who feel the opposite. I just think probably those people have an easier time choosing colors because they have a better grasp of color theory than I do.
But how do you make a color palette from scratch?
So, well, like off the cuff, like without using any outside sources, I use a website called Coolers where they'll generate a color palette for you. But if you have like an idea, like say I'm making a cutesy little like magical girl, then basing the color pink. What colors go with pink? Which tertiary colors do I want to go with? Is there any complementary colors? Like, I believe it requires that know-how. Some people just kind of know it, like just by sight, but some people like get a little technical with it, like me. So I have to remember. I have to get a color wheel. I have to mix and match colors, and a lot of times you're just putting down colors and be like, does this work? No. Does this work? No. Does this work? Maybe. Does this work? Okay, here we go. It's a lot of trial and error, and I'm impatient, which is why it is my least favorite part.
So, Tamasama says, love how bright the colors you use are. I want to eat your drawings.
Yes, I am very attracted to vibrant colors, as well as pastels and saturated colors. Pastels being number one.
I really like pastels. I really like soft colors. Like, I really like soft muted tones. Personally.
Yeah. Oh, you like more muted colors?
I like the contrast of pastel and white, which is basically, really low contrast because pastels are really light and, white is a pretty soft background color.
Yeah.
So I really like these like soft drawing tones personally.
I get that.
All right, Analog says, question for Chloe. Would you ever think to try a different art style?
Art style, like how I draw, or like
a medium,
like specific. So not digital.
Yeah, I think art type kind of refers more to the. I said art style before, right? Yeah, they say art type. I think this might refer to like an art medium.
Oh, so I do draw traditionally on occasion. I do have multiple sketchbooks in like in and around me. I do bring them with me on the go, like whether I'm at work or if I'm just going somewhere to sit and eat, or if I'm just in another room in my house. If that was your question, if you meant art type, like how I draw, I am very versatile. I can adapt to different styles of art, whether I want to go more cartoony or semi-realistic. I can't go completely realistic. It's just not in my repertoire.
I think completely realistic, that's like a photo, isn't it? That's like photorealism.
Yeah. I can't do that. That was something I always struggled with, even through art school.
They say they tried cardboard carving art, for example.
Okay, so totally. So when we were right,
mediums, yeah, art mediums.
Traditional, like pencil and paper, like charcoal, is probably the farthest I do. I did try different mediums back in school. Like I did scratchboard. That one was pretty okay.
Miss Puffles, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Enjoy your time here. I think with mediums, it's the kind of thing where you need to try lots of different things. And then at some point you'll find one thing that you like more than the other things and you stick to that. But then, as you grow, as you evolve, they can still change. And I think in the creative process, it's also important to give yourself breaks. Like if you only do digital art, it might be helpful for you to take a break and try some, you know, cardboard coloring or soap coloring or drawing with crayons, you know,
Yeah.
drawing traditionally, graffiti.
And I think only sticking with one will make you rusty with another skill. It's use it or you lose it, as they say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I
Like,
think
never stick yourself in one box.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I think one of the things that always helped me is that, again, the skills you learn, you can use them everywhere. Like the fundamentals are always the same.
Yes, they are.
So Miss Puffled says, I like drawing line art traditionally and color digitally.
Oh.
That's like you did, right? In the beginning.
Oh yeah. Drawing line art and coloring. Yeah, that was what I did in the beginning before I got my iPad. Because I'd like do all the line art, like on paper, then scan the image, and then do the rest on digitally. Do all the coloring stuff that way.
I think that's how I started as well. I used to borrow the lighting table, I think it was called, of a friend.
Yeah, the light table.
Yeah, the light table. And that helped immensely. That was great. I like that.
Yeah.
Miss Puffle says, if I animate, I draw only digitally, though. Yeah, I think for animation, you know, that's a bit a time-cutting measure if you do it digitally. We totally understand.
Yeah, that and I respect animators a lot because that's just a lot of effort. Like that's it and a lot of time. Like I probably wouldn't say it's especially hard for you guys. It probably depends on how critical you are of yourself, but it's definitely time consuming.
Because you have to do it for every frame, right? And every part. Like it's such a nuanced process.
Yeah. And I know there's new programs out there like puppeting and stuff like Toon Boom and other programs like that. I hear you can even animate in Clip Studio now as well.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that, but I haven't tried that out yet. Clip Studio was really criticized after all the discourse with the new subscription model.
Yeah, it's really awful. I'm not a Clip Studio user, but I do feel for all of the people who got to use all of the assets that it gave for free.
I think it's the kind of thing where everyone is gonna revolt if something is free at first. And then suddenly, even if it's only a small part of the whole package, if that isn't free anymore, there are gonna be people who are upset over that. That's quite natural. So Analog says, I only tried Flash animation once and it was hard. And
I heard that it was hard.
Yeah. And Miss Puffle says, usually you animate on 2s, and it's a lot of tricks to cut down time. Yeah, animating on 2s, I have heard that before. That means like every second. It's hard to say, like every other second, I guess. You draw the next frame? Is that how you say it then?
Like you're not like showing like the full fluid movement, but just the essential ones.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. Yeah, you draw every second frame instead of every frame. Yeah, that sounds right.
I see.
And hello, Mr. Pokélopes. Hi, I hope you're doing well today.
Pokélopes.
All right, so my next question for you is, so we now have your easiest part or your favorite part.
My favorite part?
And your hardest part of the process. So you like the sketching the most, and for you the coloring, you said, is the hardest. So when you get to one of these like hard parts, or like what makes what makes coloring that hard? Fuzzy tongue.
Wait, what makes coloring the hard? What
Yeah.
makes it the hardest?
Yeah, what makes it the hardest part?
Well, like going back on the the whole part, is because I don't have a full grasp of or I just don't have a good grasp on color theory. Like back in when I was in art school, I had the highest I had gotten in my color theory class was a C. I could understand the concept, and I knew which colors were what and which ones went together. But the thing is, when it comes to like doing tints and shades of colors, it's hard because everyone has a different view and grasp of the colors. Everyone sees colors differently. So especially if you have like a visual um like like thing impeding you. Like I have both an astigmatism and I'm both nearsighted and farsighted, so my colors are a little affected. So I see things differently than what others do. Like some things may seem brighter to me, whereas they're more muted, where things seem more muted when they're actually like more saturated. And it's like everyone else is using the same type of monitor, whereas I'm using a different one.
That's a good way to explain that, and I'd never like think that if you didn't tell me. Never think that. And near and far sighted both, that must be, you know, quite troublesome as well.
Yeah, I'm not colorblind. It's just affected. That's all. And that analogy was probably the best way I could use it, because when I look at like pictures that I post through my iPad and then look at them on my phone or my computer, they look different.
I think with the phone and the computer, that also depends on the display of the device.
Yes,
because they express colors different.
Yeah, my eyes are just on different display, that's all.
Not colorblind, name every color. Go.
Green, blue, red, yellow, purple, pink, orange, chartreuse. This is gonna take a while.
White, gray.
Wait, is white? I've seen a lot of discourse where they say white is not.
Yeah, those are tones.
White is color, whereas black is the absence of color.
Yeah, we always got told in school that white and black aren't colors, they are tones.
Yeah, they're tones.
Yeah, I remember that from art school. I remember that. Chloe has low resolution eyes.
Shut up! This is supposed to be a safe zone!
We won't flatten you, don't worry.
You have to be nice to me!
Yeah! Question for both of you. What piece are you most proud of, and can you show it on stream? Chloe, if you want to send it to me, I can try to put it on as an image source. I've never done this before.
You can't put me on the spot. My best piece?
I mean, if you feel comfortable, we don't have to do this right now. We can do this at the end, maybe, if we wanna. We can...
It's not a comfort thing so much as a, do I personally don't think I have a piece where I think it is the best. Like, I'm not sure if I have a piece that I am the most proud of, because I'm drawing every day. Like, that changes all the time. Every day? Yeah.
But what happens if you get like art block and stuff?
With art block, I don't actually truly experience art block. I like to call it art constipation. So like it's like one of those things where I say, if you're taking a poop and you're trying to produce something
like the poop, I know, you
and you
mean like
can't
art
poop.
piece.
Art piece. Like for me, I cannot poop out an art piece if I am art blocked. But if I'm in art constipation, you're just heavily forcing it out.
Oh yeah.
And that's not good either. So I take a break. I don't make myself feel bad for not being able to create, because that just makes your art block worse.
Oh yeah.
If anything, dealing with art block, I do something else I enjoy. That doesn't mean that I've stopped enjoying art. I just need a break from it, because I'm trying to avoid burnout.
I think that's a really good take on it. Because you know, art block is never a permanent state.
It
And
really
I think
isn't.
like it's really easy to get burned out if you force yourself to press it out. To get an art bypass or open art surgery. Yeah, you know, that doesn't work, right? So I think Clover's right. You have to like, I think you have to distance yourself from it sometimes and then let yourself recuperate, kind of relax a little bit, and then you can come back to it and, you know, look at it differently. So I think that's like a good take.
I'm glad you think so.
Guys, Diego, thank you for the gnome. He gnomed us.
Oh, we got gnomed. We got freaking gnomed.
We got gnomed live on stream, caught in 4K. But thank you for being here, guys, Diego.
I'm not sure if I'd say that this is my best piece, but it is one that I really do like. I think it expresses like the style and color and emotion that I like to convey in art.
Okay, I'm working on it. I'm gonna put it up. Give me a second. Thank you for the head pad. Thank you. Where is it? There it is. Okay, it's really big. I need to resize it first.
I'm so sorry, it's huge.
Let's put this up here.
Yippee!
Does this work? I think this does work, yeah. I think that's a really, really nice piece. I
do really like vibrant colors, lots of sparkly stickers. That and like simple shading. I like to do either some soft shades, but mostly like hard coloring, like cell shading. I just that, and I know I'm just a big fan of like saturated juicy colors. Oh my gosh, thank you, Analog. I'm also a big fan of like different line weights, because like compared to anime where they only have one line weight, it looks a little cartoony because it has multiple. So I feel like it's a good fusion.
I really like how you did the faces. I think the faces and the poses as well are super cute.
Yay! I'm so glad.
All right. Let me put up my piece, and also let's read the chat first. Let's catch up. A digipad for both of you. Thank you, Analog. And Tama says, so cute. I bow to you, Chloe. And Miss Puffles asks, why is your halo glitchy? So that has to do with my lore. I'm a Tamagotchi angel that came to Earth to save all the, you know, dying Tamagotchi. But I come from cyberspace, where I'm, you know, like an agent on a mission.
Yeah.
And that's why my halo is glitchy, because I'm originally from cyberspace. All right, let's put up my favorite piece that I ever Jesus, I almost went into the hentai folder. That was a close one. That was muscle memory.
Oops.
Jolly Fool, thank you for the follow. Thank you.
Hi, Jolly.
So I did pencil drawing a lot. So this is a pencil drawing I really enjoy. I did traditional pencil drawing from reference. So I was sitting in an art studio for 4 hours and just stared at this human bust. And I had to draw it, you know, from seeing. So and I think this one took me multiple weeks. And the thing is, you know, every time I'd come to the studio, the lighting would be a bit different. Like, you know, times would have changed. So then it was really hard to kind of, you know, see it as is again and try to like replicate it. But that's personally, I think, one of my favorite pieces that I did. Whoop.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I really liked how you did all the lighting on it. Like, I could tell this was a still life that you're working on.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for realizing.
Yeah.
Hello, Chloe and Digi. Hi. Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
So Tama says you're a Digimon. Yes. And Digimon and Pokemon are related, in fact. Did you know? Not Pokemon. Tamagotchi. What's up with me today? Why is my tongue so fuzzy? Is that because I have a pretty lady in here with me? Am I getting all flustered and I can't even speak my words right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, blushy.
So, Tamagotchi came first, and then Digimon was made as a 4 boys for Tamagotchi, where you're like, you know, you have like a thing that battles another thing, and it's so much more manly. But technically, Tamagotchi and Digimon are, you know, from Bandai, which is the parent company that made them. So they're basically the same thing, and I like both of them. Analog says the homework folder. Yeah, the totally homework and not hentai folder. Yeah. And then Pokelope says, is there something you want to tell us, Digi? No, not yet. Not live on stream. Let's go, hentai. Holy shit, that's so good. Damn, can't look at it. It's perfect. Why are you wearing your hands wear ties? That's good. I like that. Are Pokemon the PC technically Digimon? Ooh. That's a good point.
Oh my god.
Digital monsters. Wow. They do be.
Digimon are the champions.
I love that theme song. That was so cute.
Yes, right? Who is your favorite Digimon?
Easy. Bearmon.
Bearmon, really?
I'd kill for Bearmon. Like, let me... Give me a second. Do you see this arm piece on my hand? This is literally the same bell that Bearmon has.
Oh my god, no way!
I really like Bearmon. He's my favorite little guy.
That's so best.
Bearmon is just a cute fella. He's just a cutie. Ooh. I mean,
yeah, and then it turns into Grizzlymon, right?
Yeah, he turns into Grizzlymon and then it gets perverse, as it always does in Digimon, but that's, you know, the beauty of it.
I'm just like, I don't remember its final one. I just know he turns to a lion at some point, Leomon or something like that. I was like, what the heck? That's not a bear anymore.
Tamu_Samaft says you guys are so cozy.
But then
and cute.
again,
Also, I'm gonna pinch Kloss cheeks.
like I have, all right, my number one favorite Digimon is what, Palmon and its evolution. I like Lilymon a lot.
Lilymon is super cute.
Right? But I also really like Gatomon's evolution thing. But then Gatomon turns into Angelomon. So I don't know what that's about.
I was about to say that's a bit horny. That's a bit horny of you to say.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We got gnomed again!
We got gnomed again! He strikes again with a vengeance. We get gnomed left and right. Miss Pavel said, "You've seen the new Tamagotchi, looks so cool, but it's only in Japanese. And it's also out of my price range, so oops." Yeah, they have been out of my price range for a while. I've been following the releases. They only make them in Japanese at this point, pretty much. And for me, it's too far away from what it used to be completely honest.
That never stopped me. I have 3 Japanese Tamagotchi right now. The 3 Tamawatches. I love Tamagotchi. I actually collect them, and I like to collect VPet like items. There's one that's shaped like a poop. I really want that one.
Poop one?
Yeah. Wait, what did you say? Yeah, there's a poop one.
Yeah. Do you have that one?
I don't have it yet, but I will.
It's a grail then, so you're still waiting for that one.
I'm still waiting on that one. But I have one. My most recent one, besides the Tamawatches, was a boba one, where you own a boba shop. You're taking care of your Tamagotchi that owns the boba shop. The little device is shaped like a little mini cup, and the control is the straw. So you have to stir up the bobas in there.
Oh, that's super cute. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's super fun too. I like collecting them.
I think the modern ones kind of lost me a bit. I collect the retro ones. I know the current ones go for around 100 USD and then import on top, but they are a bit cheaper in Japan. Like, it depends.
Oh, yeah.
There are limited releases, and there's one I really wanted, which is the Tamagotchi Pigs X Sanrio edition, because I'm a big Sanrio nut.
I actually haven't owned a Pix. I skipped the Pix to get the Tamawatch.
That's
because they came out with the Sanrio Tamagotchi watch, and it gave you like where you can raise the Tamagotchi themed Tamagotchi. I'm sorry, yeah, the Tamagotchi themed Sanrio characters. Same, and they gave you a lanyard. I'm just like, I need that.
You just like copped. It goes into my stash and it stays there.
It stays there. I also I'm hoping to get a display shelf so I can put them all in there.
Oh, that would be nice, because you also collect handhelds, right? That's the poop one, by the way.
Yes, that's the poop one.
Whoop.
I want that one. So basically, with the little shower, you actually give it a bath, so it's a nice smelling poop.
I mean, that's nice at least, and it is pink, so that's pretty cute. It's pink points.
They come in pastel purple and pastel blue as well.
Oh, I want the blue one. Blue sounds really cute. Miss Pavel says, "I'm actually developing a Tamagotchi-inspired game." Oh, that's pretty cool.
Ooh.
That's pretty amazing. Good luck on game developing.
Yeah, I want to see that.
All right, let's tap into some of the questions we got in our thread.
Yeah.
Let's do that real quick to serve that justice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question we got is, what lesson about art do you think was the most helpful for your style? Asked by Tamasama.
Don't be afraid to fuck up. Don't be afraid to mess up, because it's gonna be ugly. You're, as Jake from Adventure Time used to say, and before you get good at something, you gotta kind of suck at it. And that part is easy for people to feel discouraged, but you just gotta push past that because you're only beginning. You don't need that kind of judgment. You don't need that kind of like harshness on yourself. You're learning.
I think it's always important to kind of look at your own art in the way, you know, your best friend would kind of look at it. So it's really easy to say, oh, that looks bad, or, you know, ew, why did I draw that? That's so nasty.
Yeah.
I think it's the kind of thing where that won't get you anywhere. That's not really, you know, constructive. And every art piece, no matter how bad it is, you will always learn something through it, through like completing it to a certain degree. Not every piece will be the same, but you can get something out of everything, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
And Guy Sayiga says it's kind of like playing chess. If you want to win, you have to lose a bunch first.
Yes, absolutely. You can't learn from a win. You can only learn from a loss.
Agreed, agreed. So then Clovette asks, I'd like to ask Clo, do you have any specific goals you'd like to achieve within the next year of VTubing?
I want to be able to communicate better. I think that, like, you know, even though I'm saying, like, oh, don't get discouraged, I do find myself getting a little discouraged. I want to be nicer to myself with that, because even though I have been streaming for almost 2 years, I don't feel like I have grown technically. I want to be able to provide for myself and not have to always rely on people. Now, relying on people is good. It is encouraged, but I sometimes feel like I am too reliant. I don't want others to become a crutch for me. I need to be able to expand my skills and learn how to do some things for myself.
I agree with that. I always have like a bunch of friends I can ask all the like VTuber technical questions. Like when I need help with something, I'm always kind of like surrounded by people who already did it and already like figured it out. But I think for me, a part of the process is to learn how to communicate with people as well, like message people, you know, ask people if they want to do something with me, if they want to collab, if they'd like to, like, you know, like Clover right now, if they want to take part in the podcast and if they're interested. And then, but then, you know, also be able to say, you know, I can teach you this, like I can just invite you, I can make this happen because I'm good enough at organizing these things and I don't need someone to hold my hand and, you know, walk me through everything, because there are some paths that you have to discover on your own. No one can take that away from you. So I agree. That's, you know, that's a good goal. It's a good goal. So then Haneko asks, a question for Clo. What often inspires your work, and what about them draws them to you personally?
I think honestly others' works, as well as shows that I used to watch very often in the past, things that I kind of see myself in, or things that like kind of give me that something that makes me daydream about it, or something that I can build off of. Those are the kind of things that inspire me. Where same thing with aesthetics. Like I really like that cute retro aesthetic. Lots of those bright saturated lights. They give me like kind of a hopeful feel. It almost makes me emotional in a way, but it's like a happy emotional. Like even if it like brings a tear to my eye, I'm just like I kind of want to be able to achieve that eventually. Whether it be streaming or art, or like I eventually want to learn video editing.
I I kind of feel like that's the spirit of Y2K, isn't it? That like positivity.
Yeah, and that hopefulness for the future.
Yeah.
I know in life there isn't a whole lot to like, be super excited for, especially with how things are going. But I like to focus on the silver lining. I don't like to view myself as a pessimistic person. Like there are days where like, I am feeling down. I am feeling a little blue, less pink. But that's also like, um I don't deny myself feelings. Like even like it's the same thing with well, maybe not the same thing, but it reminds me that I don't need to hold myself back from anything.
I
So,
agree.
yeah, so I just kind of go head first into like what inspires me. A lot of people do worry. I'm just like, oh, I'm copying. Like I worry about that too. I'm just like, I don't want to copy anything. But imitation is the highest form of flattery. Sometimes, as long as you credit and say what it is that you were inspired by, I believe transparency is the best policy.
I think by
There's
trying
nothing
to
wrong with
replicate something, by really dissecting someone's style, you can, adapt the parts that you need, and it will, you will be never able to reproduce something exactly the same anyway, or at least,
Yeah.
you shouldn't try to achieve that.
Exactly.
But I think that, nothing in humanity is truly, really unique anyway.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
yeah, I think, for practice purposes, it's perfectly fine to even to trace, as long as it's credited, of course, as Clover said.
Because it also counts toward learning as well.
Yeah. All right, so my next question for you is, what drives you to create? What do you get out of creating?
My imagination is my main driver at the wheel of my brain when it comes to creating. Oh, hello, Kite.
Hi, Kite. Hello, hello.
As far as that goes, cause a lot of times, but it kind of goes back to one of the previous questions where it said like kind of what drives me to like make things, in my inspirations, like I'm just like, oh, this is a cool idea. I wonder if I could make something similar, or this is inspiring me to make something else. As a lot of like people's ideas, others' creations, the things I see, the things I smell, the things I eat, the things that I have. Even sometimes I will play around in my closet and make an outfit. I'm like, ooh, what? This outfit would look really cute on, I don't know, a cat girl, or oh, I want to see this outfit but on a robot girl, or I think Kirby would look cute if he was eating this meal instead of me. Like just different stuff like that. I also like I know I said that I don't make fan art, but I like to make fan characters like within that same universe. I love Pokemon, and I like to make up characters within that world. I'm just like, this is my character, or this is me. Like this is what I would do in this world. This is how I would go about things.
Like all sorts of OCs in that kind of universe.
Yes. If you saw on my main account, I do call it the OC Factory because I make a lot of characters. Character design is my passion.
And I think it shows. All right, so my next question for you is, how did you find your niche?
Lots of trial and error. I used to be inspired by many different things, and my art style did not look like this for a very long time. I also had a phase where I hated pink. I was a black and red kind of kid. I was just like, pink stupid. I think those are baby colors. Uh, it's like it's like I'm a teenager. I'm like all grown up. I'm like I really I really did enjoy the semi realism of seinen manga. Back then I was very inspired by that, and that's not to say that I'm not anymore. I really do enjoy those styles, but I think that the kind of bubbly, round, soft shapes and colors are more me now. I like, I've sort of embraced who I am, like after I've sort of found my niche. Like, because you finding your niche, like, could take you, like, as short as, like, what, your adolescence to as long as, like, your adult to even middle adult life. Like, no, like everyone's journey is a different length. It's the same thing with improving too. Like, not everyone grows the same.
Yeah, I agree. For me, like, Kite also says black and red is nice. Yeah, that's the, every OC I did from when I was like 11 to when I was at least 14 had like a black and red and maybe even gold color palette. Had to be edgy.
Yeah, super edgy.
Also, you said you thought back in the day that pink was a baby color, and now look at the biggest baby.
I love pink. Gosh, if people saw my room now, they'd be like, yeah, what would your younger self say?
But that's a part of growth, accepting pink back into your life.
Oh
That's just the natural path of growth.
Absolutely.
All right, my next question for you is, do you have any advice for young aspiring creators?
Honestly, do not let anything or anybody discourage you. Try out as many things as possible. This is your experimental time. Like, literally, just try anything and everything that you like. Because, like, even if it has nothing to do with art, it could come back to you later. Like, some people be like, it's like, oh, well, I was more into race cars as a kid. I'm like, hey, you could use that as an observation skill. Like, that means, like, you know the ins and outs of cars. Maybe you know how to illustrate them better than someone else would. I know someone who could draw cars really well, but they couldn't draw people for shit.
It's such a good tip, though, with the observational skills, because I always try to do that. I used to really like animals, and I really liked birds as a kid. I was a bird guy, and I always hated drawing around people because I was bad at it. But I was half decent at drawing birds because I liked birds a lot. And I watched, lots of bird meme videos, lots of, I followed cute birds on Instagram. And I kind of started drawing more when I always like sat down at like a quiet lunch table. And I just start drawing, the cute Instagram birds.
Yeah.
So I agree with that advice. I think that's really, really solid advice.
I'm glad. I hope younger viewers will actually take that to heart, and that the ones who aren't, will probably learn it for themselves.
What was the hardest thing for you when you just started?
The hardest part for me was trying to get out of the mode of having that validation as my only source of self-acceptance and self-growth, because you, like, in order for other people to like your drawings, you have to like them too. Like, it can't just be them in order for it to be considered good, because art is subjective. Not everyone's gonna like it. But that doesn't mean that nobody's gonna like it. As long as you keep trying, as long as you remain consistent, I think that's the best thing you can have.
I think with validation online, it's also an easy trap to fall into, that you also start drawing the things that you think other people will like. And then you'll kind of forget what you liked originally. Like if you do one Pokemon fan art and it does really well, you might be in the mindset that, okay, I should focus on Pokemon now because that works. But what if you want to draw fan art for, I don't know, the Power Rangers? You know, maybe that will be less popular in that space that, you know, you cultivated. But
Yeah.
it's important to kind of remember, like, you do this for you. And if you want to draw something different, if you want to, you know, if you grew, if you don't like the same things that you did, you know, years ago, you are allowed to express that through your art.
Exactly. Because like art is like the form of self-expression.
That's
Because
true.
if you're doing it for someone else and not you, like you can do stuff for other people, but the thing is, first and foremost, you have to like it. Otherwise, I don't see you doing art for very long because it was always for someone else.
I think, yeah,
It
I
was
think the
not
curve to
you.
please you, like the curve of validation that you need to be pleased, will just become steeper and steeper the longer you put yourself off from drawing what you truly want to draw.
Right.
And for me, like, that was a pitfall that I fell into, is that every piece was performative. Every piece had to be a zinger. I wasn't allowing myself to try new things, try new mediums, you know, try gouache or crayons or like serious oil painting over many hours with like many attempts. Because I always thought, okay, I have a tablet, I can draw a Pokemon, and that will be enough. That will be my, you know, my brand. That will be what I need. And that got frustrating after a while.
Right.
So that's at least, you know, it's at least my take on it.
I think that's a good take on it as well.
But what do you do when you reach like a dead end on a project? Like what do you do if you worked on something for 8 hours and you look at it and you're just like, in the bin?
I think the hardest part of it, like, because like typically you want to keep working on it, you don't want to reach a dead end, you want to reach your destination, and sometimes you just don't have enough gas in the tank to get to it. And the hardest part about that is learning when to like, you know, quit while you're ahead, because and people don't like that. People don't like that opinion because they think that they're quitting. But the thing is, if you're pouring your time and effort into a moot point, then you're hurting yourself more than starting over. Like, as long as you actually start over, that's like I think that's detrimental. Like, starting over is also okay. That's what they gotta realize. That was a hard lesson for me. Starting over is okay. It's frustrating as hell because you put in all that effort, but it's not. But once you realize it's not ever going to reach that culmination that you want, you have to accept you have to start over. I think that was a really hard lesson that I had to learn. I hated starting over.
I think for me it was the same thing as well, where I had to teach myself that sometimes learning is enough. Sometimes it doesn't need to be postable. And it can still go on like a pile of, you know, to be continues. You know, maybe in a year you're gonna have the skill to make something out of it. You know, maybe you really like the pose, or you really like the mood board, or you just liked the characters. I think it's worth saving, and it's worth just, you know, sleeping on it and trying again after a while. But where it becomes interesting, of course, is when it's a homework or when it's a commission piece, you know, when it needs to be done. How deal with that?
Yeah, like, but it's sometimes like we just have to take those hard lessons to heart and not take them so hard, because it's not there to make you feel bad. It's just helping you improve.
That's true. And even if it's a homework, even if it's a commission, sometimes you need to start over. Sometimes you can't see the finish line because you backed yourself into the wrong corner.
Exactly. And then it's too late to turn around. You just gotta start over from the beginning.
And if you force it too much, you're just gonna end up with burnout, or you're gonna be overworked from focusing on one singular thing for far too long.
Exactly. And you don't want to make it to where you hate doing the thing that you love. Like, it's just a tough lesson to learn.
Yeah, that's true. But did you ever feel burnt out or overworked?
Yes. That, especially because I stretched myself too thin. Not only was I drawing for myself, but I had commissions, and I had my day job, and I had my other day jobs. I have two day jobs. But I forced myself thinking, I'm like, well, this is the, like, you know, the main thing I'm good at. If I'm not doing it, then who am I? But I realized, like back then, I'm just like, well, this is how I just need to take care of myself so I don't reach burnout, so I don't overwork myself on these. It's okay to be slow. Like, I see people who are pumping out pieces every single day, and I'm just like, are you eating? Are you sleeping? Are you able to be spending time with the people you love? Are you able to go out or at least take a walk outside of where you live? Like, sometimes just stepping away from that is good enough. Like, just stepping away from it for a little bit before you come back. Like, always come back, but sometimes you can't always stay there, because then you will start to feel burnout, you overwork yourself, and you'll stagnate.
So your advice is preemptively kind of listening to yourself, to your own body, to its signals, and then building up a certain distance between you and your work where you know it's not tied to your self-worth. It will still be there when you need it.
Yes.
But you also need to get those sweet moments in for yourself where it's not about work.
Right, exactly. Because like I said, you don't want to make your beloved hobby something that feels bad.
And that is what will happen if you frustrate yourself too much with it.
Yes. Then you're gonna stop enjoying it. You're not gonna enjoy doing that anymore. Like, I've had friends who've gotten that way. Like, when they overwork themselves, they don't get the stimulation they need from it anymore, because it feels like work. And I know, like, what commissions are literally work, but as long as you're balancing it with the stuff that you want to do and the things that you have to do, like just a normal day job, I'd say that's a good way of getting the balance. Keeping a balance is really important. Oh yeah, I bet so, Kite.
Yeah, having the burnout bad, I can relate 100%. For me, my advice would be remind yourself that growth cannot be endlessly exponential. You will not become a master overnight, and you will reach a certain kind of zenith at some point. You will reach a point which could consider, like some sort of high point. And the likes that you'll get, the amount of attention that you'll get, it is not endless. at some points, you know, you will settle for certain kind of numbers. And I don't think it's wise to ever kind of want to like be viral, you know, explode. Like that, if it happens, you know, it happens. But I think chasing it might alienate the people that, you know, are there for you, for your art, for your personality.
Right.
And I think not comparing yourself to others who have, you know, do the same thing that you do. Like, for example, drawing every day, which is a good habit. But some people will blow up through doing that, and some people don't. It's still important to do it every day, even when you don't blow up, because the skills that you will learn will benefit you in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So don't chase the clouds. If the cloud's meant to come, it will come. Like, you can optimize, of course. There are things you can like do better, like, you know, have snazzy titles, have, you know, a nice watermark so people can find you.
Yeah.
But don't try to get viral, and don't try to compare yourself to other people, because you haven't walked a mile in their shoes. You don't know their background. You don't know if they have practiced drawing, you know, every day since they were like 4. And the most important part is it doesn't matter how far they are in their journey, because the only person you can compare yourself to is the you from yesterday.
Exactly.
And, you know, that is basically what both of us were saying, where don't, you know, scare yourself into burnout. Work on yourself, work on your stuff, and everything's gonna be all right. All right, so my next question for you is, how do you feel about your current project? What are you working on right now?
So currently, I'm working on 3 separate stories. I do like to write in my spare time. Whenever I do have an idea, I'll start writing in the notes app on my phone.
Ooh.
I 2 I can mention. The other one's kind of a secret. Like one I've been working on for like almost a decade now, that involves lots of characters. The hardest part about that is figuring out their place in the world, and um and the who all is involved in the overarching story. I used to have a bad habit of overdeveloping characters to the point where it would split off on stories and I would lose the plot. So I'd had to keep starting over. The whole thing that I mentioned before, which was really heartbreaking, and I almost dropped it for a while. Oops, I knocked over my bottle. Another was a smaller version of that, which made it seem a little easier to do that. But I also didn't want to completely quit one. So I'm just like, okay. It's like, let's start small and work our way up. When I went to school, I majored in sequential art, which is basically storyboarding and comics.
Oh.
And that is sort of where I start developing like, you know, my characters and stuff, as well as how I tell stories. Now, character design has become more of a passion for me, and I've started to like, you know, people have made me realize, like, hey, it's okay if you only want to do that. It's okay if you only like character design. And I'm just like, yes, that is a big part of my motivation, but I would like to be able to make a comic sometime in the future.
I think writing is a really great way to get your creative juices flowing in your spare time. And it's really cool that you have these like 2 overarching projects that you can always come back to, that, you know, have nothing to do with everything else you do.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, like a comfort space almost, kinda creatively, I bet.
Oh boy, I'm a little worried. My phone's dying.
Oh no, we can wrap it up if you want. I only have,
Let's see, how many more questions do
we have basically 2 more questions.
Okay, let's try and get through those.
Okay, so the next question is, What is something that helps you to ground yourself when times are tough?
I know some people think that talking to yourself is weird. Talking to yourself is absolutely a great way to ground yourself, especially when you are giving yourself words of affirmations. Because sometimes you realize you are actually making a mountain out of a molehill, like, to be cliche for a moment. Because that, I noticed that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm catastrophizing. I'm not looking at, like, what's actually there, and I'm looking past it and imagining the problematic things that may happen or that I imagined. um it like, especially when it's hard to get out of that negative mindset that either was put onto you or that you accidentally put yourself in. I never think it's a purposeful thing, but grounding yourself in, like, any way possible, like, I either, like, kind of sit and just kind of practice mindful breathing
I do
and,
that
like,
too.
meditation too. Like, I do that. um Sometimes, sometimes I'll just tell people, I'm just like, hey, can I vent, or can you tell me something nice, or show me something nice, or, like, because sometimes even the simplest distractions help too.
I agree, especially with the like mindful breathing part and the distraction part. I think venting makes me catastrophize more. Because
Yeah.
then if I tell a friend and my friend doesn't have like a great scope of the situation, and they're like, I don't know, if I was the other person, I'd like walk away, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, I think for me, what helps me is, it does help for me to talk about it. I tend to be really verbose and tell the entire story, since the beginning of the universe when I event. But I know it really helps me to kind of like sit and breathe and just
Yes.
breathe in and out and kind of ground myself in my place in the universe, where I know that, I am fortunate to live in a first world country. I have food, I have water, I have shelter. Nothing that can happen to me is so bad that it will break me and stop me from moving.
Yeah.
No matter
Also,
if it's
I
art
have
blog.
been drinking water.
Oh yeah, water. Oh.
Yeah, you drink your water. I actually had two since we started.
I was sipping a little bit, but my model always does like her weird drinking phase when I do.
Oh yeah, I do the whole, like,
We
like,
got
I look like
gnomed
I'm, like, halfway
again.
pogging.
We got gnomed the third time.
Oh, we got gnomed again.
I'm getting really good at the gnome imitation. Scares
You
me.
are.
I'm getting really good at this. So Teo the Goat says, it also helps to remember that our own perceptions are wildly distorted. I keep seeing images I like or even love, looking at them more closely and realizing if I had drawn that same image, I would have obsessed over small imperfections that don't matter, and there's a good chance I would have given up on it before fully realizing the drawing. And that's a good take. I really like that take.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Teo.
I think that's the thing I tried touching on the beginning, where I said, try to talk to your artwork as if you were your best friend.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they wouldn't be mean to your art, they'd be nice to you.
Exactly.
And I think that's a more healthy way to kinda, deal with it, to kinda cope with it.
Sort of bring yourself up a little bit. Sometimes you gotta be your own cheerleader.
Yeah. That's a good point. Okay, my last question for you before your phone dies. Do your friends and family know and support your passions?
Absolutely. My mom is one of my bigger cheerleaders, actually. She's always been an advocate of, like, the whole follow your dreams, because she wasn't able to do that when she was growing up. So she wanted me to pursue my hobbies and the careers that I wanted to follow at a very young age. She encouraged, like she'd always like to take pictures of me and show me to like her friends and family. She's like, "Oh, you should do this with your art," or "I think it'd be a good idea if you practice this. That way, you wouldn't have such a hard time with that." Um, she's all like, same thing with streaming. Like earlier, she was in here. She's like, "Hey, I'm home." I'm like, "Hi, I'm streaming. Please, give me some space." She's like, "Oops, okay, sorry."
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Yeah, I call her my mama bear on stream.
I think when I told my mom that I was streaming, she really, really didn't get it. Like, at all. She didn't understand. She was like, wait, people do what? And it's live? Like, I had to explain it to her. And then when she understood, I think the first thing she said to me was, "Ah, okay, I think I kinda get it. But why would people watch you? Don't they have anything better to do?"
No,
and I was like, oof, like this is something only your mom can say to you. Hi, Purin. Hi, hello.
Hi, Purin. Also, thank you, Tayu. That means a lot.
Yeah, it's super cute. No, and then like, you know, my mom took like a break and like I told her that I'm like mental health focused and stuff. And then like after a while my mom came into my room and she was like, "Ah, I think I get it now. So you're like a motivational speaker and you're like a leader, right?" And I was like, "Oh god, like this is sounding cult-like. Like I don't like where this is going."
Oh no!
And she's like, "So you lead people?" And I'm like, "No, no." And she was like, "Yeah, but you are like a TED talker. You give like a TED talk." And I was like, "Okay, we can settle on the TED talk." And then she was happy with that answer. And then like an hour later, she came back. She was like, "I'm really proud of what you're doing. I think it's good that you're giving TED Talks. That's a really nice thing." I was like, okay, we're close enough. Like, I can't push her any further. I think this is like the limit of understanding we can reach today.
Yeah.
But it's still really cute. Follow the DigiCult, yeah. Join my cult. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. That was all of my questions for you. So I'm really glad I was able to interview you.
I was glad I could be here. I know we were talking about it for a while.
And we made it happen, and I think, you know, this is a bit nicer than a reactive PNG. So I'm glad, you know, my PC can comfortably handle it, and my internet can comfortably handle it. Oh yeah, there's also a Discord server for everyone who wants to join, where you can ask questions as well. That's something I kind of messed up. I made a marshmallow, which is like a site where you can ask questions anonymously, where you don't need to sign up and stuff. And I wanted to post it a week in advance so people, you know, could have asked their questions. But yeah, people did under the post though, so that worked out. And I think we covered really good ground in our little session.
Yes. Also, yes, I have beans.
Beans. Yeah, Clover is quite amazing because Clover has multiple models.
Oh yeah, I have 4 total. 1 on the way. Or another 1 on the way.
You make it sound like you're getting a kid. I really like that. I have 4 in total, 1 on the way. 1
on the way, I'm pregnant.
That's
like,
cute.
Who's the father? Me too.
VTubers self-pollinate.
Self-pollination.
What a great start for the podcast. Yeah, I agree. I had a lot of fun. I was really nervous in the beginning, but you made it wonderful, and you know, all the viewers did as well. I'm having another child. The child is also me. Yeah.
Yeah, child is also me.
So plant tuber, yeah. And there are some of those. I wonder if they pollinate. If I cut them up, will I get new sprouts, new VTuber sprouts?
Oh my god, sproutings.
Ah, I'm so glad it worked out so well. I'm so happy.
Me too. Oh my gosh. It was nice and organized too. I'm sad that my phone is dying. I'm just like, why did it drop to 6?
Phones love doing that though. Phones do be like that. Sometimes we're just like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm clocking out for today.
It's like, bye.
My phone's like, I'm setting boundaries right now. I think you're going too far. I'm gonna take a break from you. You can charge me up and then I'm gonna see how I'm feeling.
He's like, no, please. I need you just a little bit longer.
But I know VTube Studio drains my phone quite a bit as well. I had that happen on stream as well.
Yeah, my phone's pretty hot right now.
Oh, it's really hot. That's not good. Okay. I'm gonna send you guys over to someone else who needs a raid. Let's see, who do we have? We have Maikua, who's playing Valhalla. How about that? I think that's nice.
I know that's a game I really want to get into. I've had it for years and I haven't played it yet.
I looked at it. There's like a Shiba Inu character who's like, they all come back to pet me eventually. Bye-bye. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for being there, Kite. I really enjoyed your company.
Yes,
thank you, everyone.
For coming, guys.
Alright, guys. So let's type in our raid message, which is the Shell Rain raid. And then we just put the emoji army there. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, Porin. Thank you. We need a raid command. Or is there like a way to just kind of like spam the message?
I think everyone just types it when they get in.
Yeah, I always thought they just do it that way, but I can figure out if there's just like a thing I can put in there. Okay. I'm gonna send you guys over to my QA. Make sure to follow Clo at CloVT. She's on my auto host list, so you can find her there. And
thank you.
I'll see you guys on Friday and Saturday, but we will play some more games. Oteo, thank you for the sub. Thank you. I value your support. You're so kind. Thank you. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy my Q stream. Say hello from me. You're the best, Digi. Thank you, Analog. Thank you. I think it's one of the built-in ones. Yeah, Stream Elements might have one. I'll suss that out. I'll get into it. I'll look at it. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whoop. And then stop stream.